Hey everybody, Seth and Ryan here from Go-to-Market Advisors, bringing you another new series on what we're calling Executive Pipeline-isms and how to combat them. So if anybody has been in sales leadership or a sales rep or a sales manager, all the above, we've all sat through pipeline meetings where executives will tell us things and we all kind of roll our eyes. This is meant to be poke fun at that, but also to talk through how do you politely combat them to be more effective in your day to day? Because they are isms as a kind of a joke, but they do affect how you go to market and also could have a big impact on your business. All right. Okay, pipeline-ism number 5: get the deal done. I think I've maybe screamed when I've heard that before. As I got off the phone with one of my sales managers, I think I screamed after that of, what the hell does get the deal done mean? There's nothing of getting the deal done. We're not signing a car. I'm not giving you $100 here. Somebody's signing for likely multiple years and spending a lot of money making a decision. There is no such thing as getting the deal done. And if you've lurked in sales, you've probably heard that term and rolled your eyes. It is a very dangerous one. And I think a lot of mistakes and a lot of missed revenue for organizations happens here when you're pushing the idea of just getting the deal done. I'm going to say one blanket statement, and then I'll let Ryan take it from here around the dangers of this, is you cannot force somebody to make a buying decision. I don't care how good you are. I don't care what sort of tips and tricks you've heard before. You cannot force somebody to sign a DocuSign. Stop trying to do it. It doesn't work. It comes off as childish and you ruin the credibility of that relationship. And for the CS folks out there, I feel for you for having to deal with onboardings when somebody just got pissed off when they thought they made a good decision and then the contracting process became a nightmare. So Ryan, can you articulate that from the dangers of this?
So I think this is similar to some other scenarios where it's kind of a double-sided challenge as a manager. You have the internal challenge and the external challenge. The internal challenge is, your executive team is trying to drive revenue. That's their job. They're trying to bring in as much revenue over whatever period of time they can. And so they're trying to make it happen based upon the limitations of a period of time, end a month, end a quarter, end a year, right? So there's no sense in fighting that concept. In sales, there's always termination times, end a month, end a quarter, end a year, are always going to be pressure points for the business. They're trying to make something happen now. The way that I would suggest you approach it is, this is one of those scenarios where information is essential. Context is essential. Real facts are essential. No one wants to hear talking in abstractions when you're talking about this. And the best thing that you can do to combat unnecessary pressure is with facts. If an executive says, I want this deal to come end of month, and you say, well, I don't know, or I'm going to try, and kind of just a bunch of abstractions, you're going to get more pressure. If you're trying to respectfully say it isn't going to happen, you need to back it up with tangible facts. For example, I'm sorry, the CFO is not in the office. He's the only person that can sign. It is not going to happen. Or, I know that they have a committee meeting next week. They are not going to move that committee meeting. I can't tell you if I can get this done until I hear back the feedback from that committee meeting where they're going to pick a vendor, whatever the case may be. Right. The facts are your safety net in alleviating, to some degree, artificial pressure to try to squeeze something in. If you can tell them what's happening, prove to the executive team that you have deep domain about the buying process and the executives involved, etc., that's the only way to combat this. Otherwise, the expectation is go make it happen. And if you can't give tangible reasons why it isn't, then they're going to expect you to go try. And then the secondary issue that Seth's going to speak about is, okay, well, on the other side of this, when you are having these conversations with the prospect, how do you do that in such a way that it's not this third-party arbitrary pressure to get it done just because you want to get it done?
Yeah, I think the way to speak to it is there isn't a perfect way to do it. I think it depends on the scenario. And I think you need to treat it as such. And so if you're thinking about, what you could potentially get done, this is where having an understanding of their internal buying process and signing process is critical. And so if you don't know that, I think that's where you start of just saying, hey, Ryan, we've had a lot of good conversations. I know we're ready to go. We're really excited about, getting you on board and getting you live in the tool and you starting to, see the benefit of this. What is that process internally that you need to go through to get this approved so that we can get kicked off? So I think the way to approach it really is to talk about the value of what they've bought or are going to buy, not necessarily anything about the end of the month or end of the quarter. And
Wait,
then,
are you saying that the company doesn't care that it's your end of month?
shockingly, other companies don't care that it's your end of the month. No, I've never seen that happen unless you give them a substantial discount. So use the value of the product that you're selling them on as the linchpin to the timing. Or if there's some critical event that you're working against, majority of the time that we see it, you're probably not. So you don't have that one. But if there's a critical event or a contract end date that they're working against and their live date, you can use that as some sort of leverage, but I would use it lightly and more talk about in the positive light. Hey, we're really excited about getting this going for you. I want to make sure that you have the right resource on this account. What can we do and what are we missing here that we need to understand? But if you don't understand their process for signing and you don't understand the timing that they need to go through and the people that need to check the box, you're, a shot in the dark. So to Ryan's point, to summarize quickly, make sure that you have concrete facts about their process of what they're going through to speak up to. And then as you're supporting the rep going downstream, have the conversation, make it a positive one, not a timing one, about what we can do to get you live on the platform and get you going. Use the positive incentive. Don't use the negative of, hey, end of month, I need to get this done. Nobody wants to hear that on the buying side.
Yeah, so one thing I just want to double click on because I think you make a good point. What you just described was go live, implementation, value. What you heard Seth not talk about, contract signature, contract signature, contract signature. A customer does not care about contract signature. For them, that is just one step closer to some distant future where they get some benefit. You need to talk to them in terms that matter. When are you live? When do you get results? Contract signature for them is just logistics. It's not important to them. It's important to you. It's not important to them. So if you are going to communicate to them, definitely communicate in those terms. And then secondarily, if you do talk to them about end of month or end of quarter, whatever the period is, talk to them in tangible things that matter. For example, for our company, we generally have a lot of push to close at the end of a month, which means our implementation resources are constrained to do implementations the following month. So if you want to be live next month, we need to get aligned on getting this contract signed so I can get you into that queue. That's a very logical, non-pressure based discussion you can have. You saying, I need to get a contract done by such and such a point, your customer doesn't care. And you're going to start to create an unnecessary level of friction between you and that customer that, if not checked, could push them to your competitors. So we want to be very respectful. And I think the way Seth approached it is right on. Talk about the value and timeline.
Here's a few comments from some sales rep friends of their managers and what not to do here. I'm talking about getting the deal done. This, I think people will laugh. Are you closing anything today? Question mark. This is a Slack from a friend that got. Another favorite was, happy Friday. Any good news? And the last one, what do you think about the likelihood that you can get them to sign? So as a manager, avoid those unnecessary slacks. You'll earn a lot of trust and credibility with your sales reps.
Well, thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for more. We hope this was helpful, and good luck out there.